Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
My fiancée suddenly screamed at Sunday dinner. "I don't like your family at all. I no longer want to take this relationship forward." I didn't utter a single word. I stood up quietly, hugged my parents, walked out, and drove away. The next morning, a parcel was delivered to her door. When she opened it, her hands started shaking, and she stood frozen, speechless. I'm 28, and until 3 days ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I work in finance, nothing glamorous, mostly spreadsheets and conference calls. I'm the kind of person who plans things down to the minute. My life had a 5-year plan. Get engaged at 27, married at 28, kids by 30. Everything was tracking perfectly until it wasn't. She was beautiful, ambitious, and knew exactly what to say to make me feel like I was the luckiest guy alive. We met at a networking event 2 years ago. She was standing alone, analyzing the room like she was calculating probabilities in her head. I walked over. We talked for 3 hours straight. By the end of the night, I was convinced she was the one. That should have been my first warning. I've never been one to fall that fast. Everything moved quickly after that. 6 months of dating. Another 6 months of "I love you." Then came the proposal last year at a rooftop restaurant. She cried. My parents cried. We set a wedding date for next June. Invitations went out in March. Deposits were paid. Her Pinterest boards had 847 pins. But something had started shifting about 4 months ago. Nothing obvious. Just small things. She'd be on her phone more. She'd leave the room to take calls. She'd say it was work stress, and I believed her because I wanted to. I'm not stupid. I just didn't want to see what was in front of me. My parents never fully trusted her, though. My mom mentioned it once over coffee. "She seems a little cold sometimes," she said. I dismissed it. Parents always worry. But my dad said something sharper. "That woman is always watching. Always calculating." I told him he was overthinking it. Now I know he wasn't. Last Sunday started like any other Sunday. We drove to my parents' house around 5 p.m. She wore a navy dress that made her look perfect, the kind of perfect that feels rehearsed. We sat down to dinner around 6:30. My mom had made pasta. My dad was telling a story about something that happened at work. It was normal, warm, the kind of evening I wanted my life to be full of. Then my mom asked her something innocent. "Have you thought about where you want a honeymoon?" Just a simple question. She looked up from her plate, and something flickered across her face, like a mask slipping for just a second. "Actually, I need to say something." My stomach dropped. I knew that tone. "I don't like your family at all," she said, her voice steady and sharp. "You're all so mediocre. Your mother's cooking is average. Your father's jokes aren't funny. And this engagement." She laughed, actually laughed. "I no longer want to take this relationship forward." The dining room went silent. My mom's fork clattered against her plate. My dad stood up slowly. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just felt something inside me shift into a gear I didn't know I had. I stood up, walked over to my mom, and hugged her. I could feel her trembling against me. Then I hugged my dad. He squeezed me tight. "I'll talk to you tomorrow," I said quietly. I walked out. I didn't look back at her. I drove home, parked my car, and sat in the dark for an hour. That night, I didn't sleep. I made lists. I did the math. I pulled up old credit card statements. I checked her social media going back 2 years. And what I found made my hands hurt from clenching. There were photos. Hidden. Screenshots of conversations. References to meetings. Bank transfers that didn't add up. A second phone number on our home Wi-Fi network that wasn't hers, at least not registered to her name. It was registered to someone in my office. My colleague. Someone I ate lunch with on Wednesdays. I called in sick to work Monday morning. I spent 4 hours with a private investigator I found through a lawyer contact. Showed her everything I'd found. She took the case. By 11 a.m., she had photos. Dates. Hotel receipts. Everything. They'd been together for 8 months. Since October. They'd made a plan, she told the investigators AI. They were going to drain my savings after the wedding. Forge my signature on documents. The engagement was a setup. The whole thing was a con. At 1 p.m., I was sitting at my desk, staring at a blank screen. My colleague walked past and didn't even look at me. He had no idea what was coming. I got to work on it right then. I called my bank. I froze our joint accounts. I canceled the credit cards in her name. I transferred everything to my personal accounts. I called the wedding venue and paid the cancellation fee. I called my lawyer. I already had one on retainer, thank God, and started paperwork for everything. Then I went to a specialty store and had something made. It took the investigators' photos, the hotel receipts, the bank statements, the screenshots, the timeline, everything, and I had it printed and bound into a beautiful glossy package. Professional. Damning. Undeniable. I addressed it to her apartment. I paid for overnight delivery. Update 1: She called me at 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. What the hell did you send me? Her voice was shaking. She was trying to sound angry, but I could hear the fear underneath. Did you open it? Of course I opened it. What is this? Are you threatening me? I'm not threatening you, I said. I'm showing you something. I'm showing you that I know. About October. About the Riverside Hotel on the 14th. About the transfer to his account on the 23rd. I'm showing you that I'm not stupid, and I'm showing you that you fucked with the wrong person. Silence. My lawyer is filing for breach of contract tomorrow morning, I continued. She'll also be filing charges of fraud and conspiracy. You can expect to hear from the district attorney's office by Friday. You have about 4 days to decide whether you want to cooperate and maybe get a lighter sentence, or whether you want to let this play out in court. But either way, everything you did is in that package, and copies are going to the police, the DA, and your parents. Oh, and I'm sending one to his wife too, so she knows what kind of man she's married to. I heard her breath catch. He's not married, she said. Exactly. He's not. But he is employed by the same company as me, and I'm also filing a formal complaint with HR. They'll be terminating him by Wednesday. His career in finance is over. Yours too, by the way. Nobody touches hired someone with a fraud conviction. She hung up. I didn't hear from her again until Wednesday evening. She called from a different number. I want to make a deal. I'm not interested in deals. You don't understand. He did this. He manipulated me. He said he was going to leave his girlfriend for me. He said, I don't care, I said. My lawyer doesn't care. The police will decide whether you're a victim or a perpetrator. You decided what you were when you opened that hotel door with him. She started crying. I stayed on the line, but didn't say anything. After about 30 seconds of listening to her fall apart, I hung up. Update 2: My lawyer sent cease and desist letters to both of them. She didn't respond. He lawyered up immediately, which meant he knew exactly how fucked he was. His lawyer reached out to mine about a settlement, but I wasn't interested in money. I just wanted everything dismantled. The police called me on Thursday. They were treating it seriously. Fraud is fraud, apparently, even when you're engaged to the person committing it. There would be an investigation. There might be charges. I cooperated completely. By Friday, the company had fired him. I heard through the grapevine that he tried to say it was discrimination, but HR has the emails. They have everything. His career is genuinely over. She texted me on Saturday from a number I didn't recognize. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. I blocked every number she tried to contact me with. I watched the stories unfold through mutual friends. She'd moved back with her parents. They were ashamed of her. Her father wouldn't speak to her. She'd tried to get a job at 3 different firms and been rejected from all 3. Word travels fast in finance. Update 3 weeks went by. I was in a fog, honestly. Not depression exactly. More like being suspended in the space between who I'd been and who I'd become. Someone who could be hurt like that and survive it. Someone who could respond with that kind of precision. My parents called me every single day that first week. My mom was devastated for me, but she was also relieved that she'd been right about something being off. My dad was angrier than I'd ever seen him. That woman was a parasite, he said. I let him be angry for both of us. I went to therapy. I'm still going. I joined a gym. I reorganized my entire apartment. I did all the things you're supposed to do. But what I was really doing was rebuilding the person inside me that I'd thought I knew and finding out he was made of harder material than I'd realized. The DA pressed charges in late April. She took a plea deal. Fraud. Conspiracy to commit fraud. She got 8 months in a minimum security facility and 5 years of probation. He fought it for longer, but eventually, he took a plea too. Same charges. 18 months because he was the architect of the whole thing. I didn't go to the trial. I didn't have to. My documentation was so complete that they didn't really need my testimony. Everything I'd gathered was admissible. Everything was clear. The wedding deposits were refunded. I'd paid enough cancellation fees that I walked away only about $3,000 in the red, which felt like a bargain for dodging a bullet that big. My colleague's wife called me 3 months after everything fell apart. She'd found out about the girlfriend and had gotten tested for STIs. She was leaving him. She was grateful that I'd sent the information when I did. That one conversation messed with me. I didn't ask to be anyone's hero. I was just protecting myself. Update for it's been 6 months now. I'm writing this on a Saturday afternoon in November. The engagement ring is sitting in a safe deposit box. I'm not ready to sell it yet, but I also can't look at it. I've gone on a few dates. Nothing serious. I'm more careful now, obviously. I pay attention to things I missed before. Inconsistencies. Evasiveness. People who are too perfect, too quickly. My dad still brings up how I handled it. He's proud, I think. Or maybe just validated that his instincts were right. My mom set me up with her co-worker's daughter, which I went along with to be nice. Nothing came of it, but it felt normal. Like maybe I was going to be okay. People at work don't really know the full story, but they know something happened. He's gone. She never worked there. It's ancient history now. Everyone's moved on. I think about her sometimes. Not in a sad way. More in a what was that way. Like I'm trying to understand how I missed something so fundamental about a person. But I think I know the answer. She was smart. She was strategic. And I was willing to believe that someone like that could actually love me. That willingness was my mistake. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not sure when it stopped. Somewhere between the investigation and the trial and the plea deal, the anger just kind of evaporated, leaving something colder and clearer behind. That might be what growing up feels like. Edit 1. Someone asked in my messages if I regret anything. I regret not listening to my dad. I regret moving too fast. I regret not trusting my gut when I felt something shifting those last few months. But I don't regret what I did after she showed her hand. If you're going to hurt someone that badly, you need to be prepared for them to respond exactly that deliberately. I did nothing illegal. Everything I did was within my rights as a victim of fraud and conspiracy. She chose to play a game she didn't have the skills to win. I'm not a villain in this story. I'm just someone who got played, figured it out, and refused to be a victim twice.